This is the story of the birthday dinner. Evelyn Whitmore was turning 80. She was rich, sharp-tongued, and still, somehow, the most feared person in her family. Every year, Evelyn hosted her birthday dinner at Whitmore Manor, a huge old house at the end of a private road. Her 3 children came because they had to. Her grandchildren came because they were told to, and everyone smiled because Evelyn controlled the money. But this birthday dinner felt different. Before the first course was served, Evelyn tapped her wine glass with a spoon and said, "I have an announcement." The room went quiet. Her oldest son, Richard, sat up straighter. Her daughter, Caroline, stopped whispering to her husband. Her youngest son, James, looked down at his plate. Evelyn smiled. "I've decided to change my will." Nobody moved. Then she added, "Some of you have disappointed me deeply." The rest of dinner was miserable. Richard barely spoke. Caroline kept drinking wine, and James looked like he might be sick. Evelyn, meanwhile, seemed almost amused by the tension that she had created. When dessert arrived, the cook brought out Evelyn's favorite chocolate cake with a single gold candle on top. Everyone sang. Evelyn blew out the candle, took one bite of cake, and froze. Her hand to her throat, her wine glass tipped over. Within seconds, she collapsed onto the dining room floor. By the time the ambulance arrived, Evelyn Whitmore was dead. At first, everyone assumed poison, and everyone had a motive. Richard's business was failing, and he needed his inheritance. Caroline had been secretly borrowing money from her mother for years. James had been cut off entirely 6 months earlier. Even the cook had reason to hate Evelyn, who had threatened to fire her that very morning. Detective Lena Cross arrived just after midnight. The family was still in the dining room, pale and shaken, while officers sealed off the kitchen. The cake was tested. So was the wine, so was the food. Nothing. There was no poison in any of it. Then the medical examiner found something strange. Evelyn had not been poisoned. She had been given a massive dose of heart medication, enough to stop her heart within minutes. But Evelyn didn't take heart medication. Her late husband had. And his pills were still kept in a locked cabinet upstairs. The key to that cabinet was found in Evelyn's bedroom, untouched, no fingerprints except hers. That was when Detective Cross noticed a small black camera hidden inside a flower arrangement on the dining room mantel. Evelyn had recorded the entire dinner. The family went silent when the footage was played. The video showed everyone entering the room, everyone sitting down, everyone eating. No one went near Evelyn's plate, no one touched her glass, and no one slipped anything into her food. Then Detective Cross rewound the footage, not to dinner, but before dinner. 1 hour earlier, the camera had already been recording. Evelyn was alone in the dining room, placing the name cards around the table. Then James entered, and they argued. James begged her not to change the will. Evelyn told him he was weak, reckless, and would never receive another dollar from her. He stormed out. But then Carolyn came in. She cried, apologized, and asked Evelyn not to embarrass her in front of the family. Evelyn laughed and told her she had already called a lawyer. So Carolyn left furious. Then Richard entered. He didn't yell. He didn't beg. He simply said, "You should have left this family alone." Evelyn turned her back to him. Richard walked to the sideboard, picked up Evelyn's small silver pill case, opened it, and dropped something inside. When he left, the room was silent, and Richard's face went white. But Detective Cross shook her head. That's not what killed her. Everyone stared. The detective played the final part of the recording. 10 minutes before dinner, Evelyn returned to the room. She picked up the pill case, opened it, looked inside, and smiled. And she removed the pill Richard had planted and placed it onto a napkin. Evelyn had known. She had caught him. But then, something even stranger happened. She took another pill from her pocket and placed it into the case herself. At dinner, right before dessert, Evelyn opened that same pill case and swallowed it. The family erupted. Caroline cried, "So she killed herself?" Detective Cross looked at the screen. "No," she said. "She thought she was taking her regular vitamin." Then the cook gasped. Every night before dinner, Evelyn's assistant, Marla, arranged her vitamins in the pill case. Marla had worked for Evelyn for 23 years. She knew every routine, every locked cabinet, every secret in the house. And she had access to Evelyn's late husband's medication. Police searched Marla's room. They found the missing pills hidden inside a sewing kit. Marla confessed before sunrise. Evelyn had recently changed her will, but not to punish her children. She had decided to leave everything to Marla. Then, that morning, Evelyn changed her mind and told Marla she was nothing more than staff. So Marla replaced Evelyn's vitamin with the heart pill and waited for dinner. She knew the family would all look guilty, and they did. Richard had tried to poison his mother. Caroline had threatened her. James had begged her for money, but only Marla knew the one thing that mattered. Evelyn never missed her vitamin before dessert. Birthday dinner wasn't ruined when Evelyn announced she was changing her will. It was ruined hours earlier when the one person nobody suspected realized she had just lost everything. Follow me for more stories.